for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. We are live. I repeat, we are live, Live, on this program show episode today. Thanks, of course, to none other than my co-host, who I will mention here in a minute, who kind of prodded me and pushed me to go live today based on some of the things that they said, some comments that, you know, ordinarily I'd ask them if they had their shoes on the wrong feet, but nonetheless, we are here. The number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout is area code 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. We are here today to discuss, of course, this whole Kevin Durant Achilles injury, Game 5, that many folks are surprised that the Warriors, came away from victorious. I'm not. And also to discuss outside of basketball, so to speak, but related to basketball, the Kevin Durant documentary that aired on Fox Sports 1 called Cue Ball, the story of the prison hoop squad in San Quentin, California. No? Is that right? Oh, who knows? But anyway, let me introduce my co-host today. Joining us on the show, none other than my man. Bear with me. We already have a caller. Hold on 1 second here. Hold up. Let's see who this is. Hello. You're on the line with the Shop Report. You're a caller. Who are you? Who are you, and where are you calling from? Hello. Oh, they hung up. I don't know who that was, but they hung up. All right, that's fine. Well, you all out there, you listening? I'd like to go back to introducing my co-host, my man on this side of the table, none other than how do I say this? Oh yeah, my man from the NYC, aka Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on?
Always honored and humbled to be on the show.
You say that, but I tell you, no more money for you, buddy. And my man on the other side of things, the guy from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Double J, tell the people what you say.
Always an honor and a pleasure, especially coming off a Warriors victory.
You know what? You and Brother Rich, y'all need to hang. Yeah, y'all. I'm glad you all know it. I'm glad I was able to make the connection, man. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all need to hang out and watch soccer. No?
That sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, that was a bad joke. Got you. Well, tough crowd. I'll be here all week. But anyway, because y'all, my gosh, y'all just too much in agreement with each other. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, but Barbershop Jay can't come to the parade. Blah, blah, blah. Anywho.
Well, if you gave Kevin Durant and the likes a little more respect, maybe,
Man, Katie don't get no respect for me, man. I told you once and I'll tell you again. I respect his talent, okay? But at the end of the day, man, come on, man. He's just like the dude who, when he with his boys, he tough. He leading the pack. Catch him by himself, and he'd be like, I ain't mean what I said, man. Yeah, I thought. Anywho, before we dive into last night's action, because I'm pretty sure you and Double J, Brother Rich, y'all got a lot to say on this. I'm actually going to fall back a little bit on this one because, when it comes to Barbershop J, what's already understood need not be explained. Because I do recall, I said from the beginning this was going to be a playground series, but nobody believed me. Most folks I talked to, they were like, oh, it's a wrap. It's over with. It's done. Oh, really? Okay. Well, I got you. But before we get to all of that in last night's action, let me...
I don't think that's quite correct. If the most folks you're talking about is people like me and
no,
J, I think that
no, I would point you all out.
We had that attitude.
I would point you all out.
We had that attitude with respect. We had that attitude. I, for one, had that attitude and with respect to Kevin Durant. Let's be clear. If Kevin Durant had played this series, was able to play this series from the beginning, Though I am among those, you can call me out and say, yes, I'm one of those people that said they would have stood no chance. Unfortunately, we now know what's happening now, and we're here where we are today to go on.
And I'm, first of all, no, I wasn't speaking of you. No, I would have said Brother Rich and Double J. You know, I don't mince or omit or however you want to put that. I would have said you all particularly. I'm talking about the folks in general on my Facebook thread for the most part, those who must not be named. However, with or without Kevin Durant, I'm telling you, as long as Kawhi Leonard is somewhere in the building, it wouldn't have mattered. But unfortunately, that claim can't be as strong as I'd like for it to be because of last night's episode. But anyway, let me get to this cue ball thing right quick. Now, aside from, all of the drama that's playing out, 94 feet, kudos to Kevin Durant and guys like him, because these types of things, there need to be more of these types of things. Kevin Durant did a documentary. I think it aired, late last month on Fox Sports 1. It was the title of the documentary was called Cue Ball, and it chronicles the story of the basketball hoop squad at San Quentin Prison. And if you all know the story of San Quentin to some degree, that's where Charles Manson, he called it home before he passed in, 2017, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2017. Well, anyway, San Quentin, is one of California's, houses some of California's most dangerous and notorious criminals, all right? And, again, I said, Manson being one of them. But what I thought was in particular, because there's been some conversation here, there's this idea that you had to have been, or you had to have played in the NBA in order to know basketball. You get where I'm going with this, right? Or you're not official if you didn't play with a school's name on the front of your jersey or whatnot. Now, I will say this. There are a lot of national pundits out there, writers, journalists, sports talk people, who I will say they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to basketball, right? Because of some of the DAQs. The DAQs, that's my acronym for dumb asked questions. All right? Sidebar. There's a little spiff, if you would, spat that's going on, a little riff, if you would. I like that better. It's going on between Joe Thomas, former Browns offensive lineman, and a writer here in Cleveland, Tony Grossi, who's been writing for the Browns for quite some time. And to me, this is a microcosm, or this epitomizes what I mean by those writers who don't have a clue. Grossi wants to make a big deal out of why Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't in voluntary minicamps. And he keeps saying it. It's in order to drudge up some sort of drama. And Joe Thomas cut him off the pass quick, like, look, man, stay in your lane, so to speak. So I say all that to say, you don't have to, if you're a ball player, you didn't have to have gone to Duke, North Carolina, or played for the Sixers in order to have a say-so on what you're seeing from these guys. Can we agree on that? Double J, Brother Rich, can we agree on that?
Absolutely.
That there is a difference, right? Okay.
Correct.
So this documentary chronicles the lives of the San Quentin Warriors, a group of inmates who play basketball against teams from beyond the prison walls. The documentary, who, of course, executive produces Golden State Warriors Kevin Durant, it did air. It aired May 28th on Fox Sports 1. And it's called Cue Ball. Now, I bring this up in part because I had a conversation with some folks in the barbershop one day, and it was said to me, you don't know nothing about basketball because you played prison ball. I said, oh, wow, really? Really? Okay. Well, let me just say here about the Cue Ball Warriors. Let me say this to you, man. That's a different kind of basketball. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Ain't no Tony Brothers involved. Ain't no Tim Donaghy. You don't call fouls. You understand? Huh? Yeah. You got to be man up to play that kind of ball and to survive it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? See, it's a lot of NBA cats. They play against these type of cats. And I hate to use my son for this, right, because I love him so much. But you all have heard me say this before. He looked good when he playing against his little brother's friends, right? Because they no match for him. But when you take them against some folks that's supposed to be as equal, what? That's what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of these dudes will be disappearing acts. Okay? Disappearing acts. The San Quentin Warriors are supported by the Golden State Warriors. Their reward at the end of the season is a championship game against Golden State. Well, sort of. Of course, it's not Steph and Clay and KD, you know what I mean? But it's the Golden State Warriors' assistants. You know, they get to face off against folks like General Manager Kirk LaCobe and his younger brother Kent and the GM of the Santa Cruz Warriors. You know, they get to play them, which is a big honor in that instance. You get what I'm saying? But more importantly than the basketball, you know, not more importantly, but this, you know, basketball is a welcome respite from the dehumanizing, monotonous, and perilous existence of prison life. Okay? Do I need to repeat that? So for all you guys who can go home at the end of the day playing a game at the park or a game at the NBA or turn the TV off and get on Facebook and get to talking about it, just imagine playing against a guy who's dealing with dehumanizing, monotonous, and perilous existence of prison life. Can you handle that? I didn't think so. So, of course, basketball is a respite. You know, it takes your mind away from the day-to-day, you know, dealings of prison life. Something to look forward to for the people whose futures are often bleak. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Rich or Double J. How many NBA players do you know? How many collegiate players do you know whose futures are often bleak? No?
Quite a few.
But more important than all of that I wanted to mention, the part that I took from this documentary, it's really not so much about basketball, but it's about incarceration. The United States incarcerates, a larger share of its population than any other country. And as I mentioned, aforementioned, some of the most violent offenders are at San Quentin, which we all know opened up in 1852. That building should have been torn down. I mean, if you just got to house somebody, why not build a new one? I mean, you got the money for it anyway. We all know private prisons is a big business. And it's got, you know, there's a well-earned reputation. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Lieutenant Sam Robinson, a correction officer at San Quentin, born and raised in Oakland, because he kind of was the person who kind of was the liaison for all of this with Kevin Durant. And I mean, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, you know what I mean, but because we do want to talk about last night's game. But, you know, he was kind of the conduit for all of this stuff coming together, which, of course, lends itself and turned into what, you know, is now the documentary or whatnot. Born and raised in Oakland, this Mr. Robinson was, he described prison as a place that struck fear. Do you feel that that's the case on a basketball court in the NBA? Or even at the Rucker, Brother Rich? Or wherever you play at, Double J. You think that it's a place that strikes fear? Nah, I didn't think so.
No.
Yeah, Robinson has worked at San Quentin for 22 years. And within his first 6 to 8 months on the job, he witnessed his first murder. Oh, now imagine that. Imagine that, man. It's what it do to your mind, man. So at the end of the day, you know, you all can go check out the story, and if you haven't, you know, see the documentary or not. But my point in all of this, you know, I wanted to give kudos to KD for shedding some light on prison ballers and giving them the credit that they deserve. You know, they in-housed and encased and whatnot. You know, these cats, just because you see, I just want to let people know, people got in their minds that if you didn't play in the NBA, you don't know nothing. You know how many cats at the Rucker? Earl Manigault, Pee Wee Kirkland. Brother Rich, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Just because you ain't playing the league, man, I don't mean you can't hoop, man. All of the hoopers that play in the NBA, it's hoopers that didn't play in the NBA is my point, that can hoop with NBA cats. That's my point. And at the end of the day, when it comes to this incarceration thing, man, it's about what it do to your mind. You feel me? So kudos to Kevin Durant and the San Quentin Ballers. Now, let's talk about last night's game. Oh, but before I do that, let me throw out the call-in number here one more again. If you're up and around and you're out and about and you want to give us a shot, we are talking about now, at this point, last night's Game 5 against the Golden State Warriors and the Toronto Raptors, which, of course, included Michael Jordan, Greg Ostertag, Mark Price. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. The number is area code 216-687-0026. That number, again, is area code 267-687-0026. Now, let me say first, you know, I got to go first because I keep my shoes on the right feet. You know, I just do. In order, my list of things that weigh more than anything in determining the outcome of these contests, whether it's the first round, the last round, Tiger Woods, PGA Golf, I don't care what round it is. I like to throw that in there. Tiger, yeah. Decision making based on the situation. Shot selection. And then everything else. Because, see, here's the deal. Too much emphasis is placed on whose name is on the jersey, front or back, or field goal percentage, shot percentage. Now, I've talked about all those things. All those things do factor in. We talked about gumbo, right? Did we talk about gumbo before? Yeah, all those things matter. Yeah, they do. But of all those things that matter, I mean, my goodness, can you have gumbo without the crawfish? So some things weigh more than others, right? Do we agree on that? No, maybe not. Double J and Brother Richie, y'all teaming up? Batman, Robin type deal? Y'all going to fight dark side? That's what I am in this case? I'll be the villain. In last night's game, my son called me. He said, Dad, you watching this third? No, I don't need to, son. Don't need to. I'll tune in the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. Because we all know that's when the action really happens, right? Because when we just talked about this a couple days ago, and I asked the very first thing I started with was how much time had elapsed before either team scored a point. That's unacceptable for professionals. See? And, you know, you can have a bad game, but lack of effort and all those types of things and bad decisions and all of that, that's separate from having a bad game. Am I lying? Stop me when I'm lying now, or correct me when I'm wrong, because you know y'all don't have no problem doing it any other time. You see what I'm saying? I just hope y'all bring the fire on this one like y'all do when we ain't recording. Huh? Yeah. I looked at the last 7 minutes, and we should have Gully joining us here shortly. I called him. I said, man, Warriors about to win this. Ah, man, they up to 6-7. Okay. You know what, Brother Rich, you be on point when you say, man, play back the tapes of our previous broadcasts. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. Start airing our previous broadcasts more and more. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't I not say, with all due respect to the guy, about Kyle Lowry, didn't I not say 726 years ago, I'm just waiting on Kyle Lowry to have a Kyle Lowry moment? Okay. Yeah. Your silence is golden. It's golden. Now, before I continue to weigh in on what my thoughts were from last night's game, I'm going to let one of you two gentlemen, have the flow. Okay? Like the lady from Mel's Diner. I have the flow. Double J, you want to go first? I didn't think so. Yeah, I didn't think so. I
would love to. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, no. Oh, no, go ahead. Oh, my goodness. Go ahead. Do your thing, Double J. Tell them what you say.
Well, I've been waiting for this, my Game 6 special, but first let's begin with this Game 5 recap.
Oh, my God.
Because, again, I knew there was going to be a Game 6. And why did I know this? Is I knew that Kyle Lowry was going to be Kyle Lowry.
Oh, my gosh.
He's Lowry's salt to me because you throw him in water and he disappears, but water represents crunch time, clutch moments. He's been doing this, speaking of Villanova, your beloved Wildcats, to our esteemed co-host.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds like some venom. My goodness.
He's been notorious for this, for disappearing when it matters most. And whatever that type of Spiced Adams shot that was to end our ball game, to give us a Game 6, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I wasn't surprised there, but what really sticks out to me in all seriousness is that despite Kawhi Leonard going on a independent 10-0 run, he ultimately shot 9 for 24, which is almost a direct match to what he shot in Game 2 when they lost. And now, upon breaking it down a little bit further, the only thing that really stuck out was an improved DeMarcus Cousins. As much credit as I'd love to give Durant, and I'll tell you this, in that first quarter, those first few minutes, he was shook. He was not Kawhi Leonard. And they were giving him a lot of that edge. The old Boogie Cousins that you used to see in Sacramento, that was exactly what I saw when he first came on in that second quarter. But beyond that, I'm looking forward to that final game in Oracle, which will be, again, they'll close it out with a W, and we'll be ready for a Game 7 here soon.
Oh, my goodness. This guy here. All right, Brother Rich, you go ahead. What do you got to say to all of that?
Well, certainly from the technical specifications that Double J outlined, I totally agree with that. I'm also going to say this, that it's and if you go back and play back the tape, I thought that it was going to be one of the best series we've ever seen, and for a whole host of reasons, it's turning into a great series. Nobody's talking about who's. And having said that, again, I always also this was going to be Kawhi Leonard's coming out party. And
I'm losing you, Brother Rich.
The focal point of the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
I was saying that you could. I also thought that this would be Kawhi Leonard's coming out party, and certainly it's manifested that it is his coming out party. Everybody in the world is getting a chance to meet him up close and personal, like with him leading this Toronto Raptors team. Nevertheless, what Double J said, something was key to me, was that the beauty about Golden State to me is that when you lose a Kevin Durant, now he's not Kevin Durant, but you can kind of plug and play if you get DeMarcus Cousins to show some of that old form, some of what he was doing in Sacramento, some of that stuff he was showing before he got injured the first time. So if we just get a little contribution from him, if we get a 15-12 game from him in Game 6, they can very well and should very well win this game. They should very well win it and then come back to Oracle and close this out. Having said that, it remains. I'm one of those who are, and let me be clear, I'm a Laker fan, but I'm as a fan of good basketball. I'm disheartened to see that the Golden State Warriors, as a franchise, as a unit, as their management, allowed this young man to go out there and play when he was not ready. Obviously, we now know he was not ready. Regardless of any speculation, now we have proof that's been handed to us on a medical platter that this young man was absolutely not ready in any way to play basketball. Nevertheless, the other element I think of this that will come into play is I really believe that his team will win this title for him. I really believe that this gives them even more motivation to go and win this ring for him and show that they are not, because now they really got something to prove. Now, if they lose, it's going to be like, see, we told y'all you can't do it. Now they really got to do it on two fronts. And there's that thing about just rallying together, and I believe Golden State has enough talent to do that.
Yeah, well, that whole ideal about coming from them folk who the narrative would be that they can't win without Durant. I told you could win without Durant. Them is folks who don't think for themselves. Them prisoner of the moment, hot pocket, microwave mentality type folks is what I call them. Okay, I don't want to hear from them. We talk about you don't even have to be a purist to know if you're really watching the game with the mute button engaged or enabled or on, that is, again, with or without Kevin Durant, folks going 4-5 minute stretches without scoring. That's, you can't blame that on him either. You get what I'm trying to tell you? It's got to be a better way to do things. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And why am I doing, in other words, Brother Rich, let's go back to, and Double J, I'm going to touch on something you said, too, about Kawhi Leonard's field goal percentage. I'm going to use another instance from an NBA. But why do we say, Brother Rich, when you watch film, do you know what you're looking for? Why do we say that when that in situations, because that's what basketball is about. It's about situations, period. Why do we say what you see in the first quarter in this particular case will show itself in the fourth quarter as well, but it's a different situation. It's a reason why for all of that stuff. It's how you do it. SOP, in this case, did not stand for Standard Operating Procedures, folks. It's what I said it is, and what I'm going to keep on saying it is a style of play. And to your point, Double J, I can't recall a year. Senility won't allow for me to go that deep and that far back in my memory. But I recall a time where the Sacramento Kings, with Peja Stojakovic, Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, After they lost to the Lakers, you remember this, right, Brother Rich? You remember this? Oh, you're not there anymore? What happened?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thought so.
Absolutely.
Okay. The talk after that game, the Lakers won that series. What was the talk? The first thing everybody wanted to point out. The Kings missed 10 free throws.
Well, they were robbed.
Hold it.
They were robbed. That was the first.
Hold it. Hold on. They may have been, but we're talking about within the framework of the 94 feet. Okay? Robbed, but was basketball involved? Yes, it was. The talk was about the 10 free throws that Sacramento had missed, right? Did they lose by 10 in that game? No. At the end of that game, and I'm a big proponent of hitting your free throws. I'm a big proponent of it. But them 10 free throws missed, had no bearing at that point in the game in those last situations. Because if we remember correctly, the Kings, despite missing them 10 free throws, whatever it was in the third quarter or whatever it is that everybody wanted to point out as the reason why, they were still within 3, 2, 1, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember that, Brother Rich?
True.
So at that
Absolutely.
point, despite the 10 free throws missed, it comes down to what? No offense, Chris Webber and the Fab Five. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You can't call a timeout without knowing the situation and whether you got timeouts or not. Now, people going to be like, we ain't got nothing to do with no timeout. I'm not saying literal, folks. I'm being from a figurative standpoint. I'm saying it's what you do in that situation. They still had a chance to win the game. Despite missing 10 free throws whenever they missed them, they were still close enough to win the game. What you do is, Stojakovic, being the three-point shooter that he was, go back and look at those sequences in those situations in the last 5 minutes of that game that they lost, that everybody wanted to first, again, point to the 10 free throws missed. Because guess what? If you make a better decision in that particular situation, don't nobody talk about the 10 free throws missed. And I'll give you a football sidebar analogy. The wide receiver who has up to a certain point in the game, I don't know, third quarter somewhere, another 10 catches for 100 and some odd yards and 3 touchdowns. That's all grand and dandy. And I'm not saying he did, Dennis Northcutt. But Dennis Northcutt is most known for, in that game against the Steelers, Kelly Holcomb set an NFL record in postseason for passing yards. They were known for what? Every time people revisit that game, they don't talk about what Dennis Northcutt's stats was up until that point, behind that point, after that point, none of that point. The only thing they talk about, like they do with Biner and the Chicago Bears kicker who missed the field goal, and the Minnesota Vikings kicker who missed when Randy Moss was they don't talk about none of that other stuff. They talk about the missed kick, the drop pass. See what I'm saying? It's what you do in that moment where it's 3rd and 10 and we need this score to win. All that other stuff is irrelevant. Now, if you get the victory, then folks go and talk about that other stuff after the fact. But it's what you do in that moment. Come on, man. Signature players make signature plays, and the signature games, signature moments. Sometimes the signature moment is that signature player missing 2 free throws at the line to send you on to the next level or to send you on to the next game. Got me? In that last night's game, I'm not saying despite, or better yet, not saying that Kawhi Leonard's field goal percentage 9 for 24. That's not good, Double J. I'm with you on that. I'm not saying it's irrelevant. But in the end, it's the bearing. What bearing did it have? Did that thing that was that before that you mentioned, did that have the direct for the outcome? They still were up 6. Late in the game, 2:24. But guess what happened? The Warriors did what they always do, is what you were supposed to do. When I say don't underestimate the heart of a champion, they said, we ain't having it today. And if I'm not mistaken, a while back, we was having this conversation about something else when I said, give me the 5 guys who want it more. over the 5 guys whose names is all plastered all over the billboards. Because what I saw in them last 5, 6, 7 minutes with the Warriors, and if you've seen Steph's reaction when Kyle Lowry missed the shot, that sums it up. Yeah, boy, brother Rich, come on, man. You know, Double J, you hoop. You know what it's like to go get that offensive rebound and put back, and then the buzzer go off. Or, like the Oregon player a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament against North Carolina, they got pushed in the back and didn't get the rebound, which hurt their chances for a possible outcome being in their favor. Right? It's the moment. What you do in that moment? And in that moment, the Warriors wanted it more. Why? Because like the 3-1 comeback we keep talking about over and over again in 2016 when the Warriors won 73. See, everybody want to make it about statistics and analytics. Yo, they won 73. Or they say this guy averaged 35, this guy's averaged 34. Who was better? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Is that really all you using to say which player was better than the other player? I heard Steph out of his own mouth say, because when we talk about comebacks and not comebacks, we it's always one-sided.
Where's the nearest Jamaican restaurant?
I have no idea where the nearest Jamaican restaurant
I just
is.
want to sorrow, but I don't want to go far for it.
You don't want to go far? You don't want to go far for what? You don't want to go far for oxtails, Brother Rich? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying, because I would go far for some oxtails if they was good. Okay.
Jay,
I'm just
Jay, here's what I'm telling you. I hear you're making great points, but you know what they sound like to me? You're making.
What do they sound like?
Sound like they sound like you're coming from an analytical point of view. And that's why analytics allows us to go back and look at all those situational things you're talking about. What I do in the moment. But here's the thing, though. In the actual moment that the game is being played, the game is going on, you and I both know that those are milliseconds, not even split seconds. They are microsecond decisions that are made as to whether or not somebody runs out, puts a hand up, affects the trajectory on this jumper, or you understand certain things. This is why you respect a basketball player like a Kawhi Leonard, who's always thinking throughout the game. Never a Kobe who's always thinking throughout the games. A Jordan, they're thinking through the game. Bird, Magic, they thought through the game from beginning to close. Now, every player either does not have the physical skill set to do that or the innate intellectual ability, like they talk about so-and-so, his basketball IQ is high. LeBron's basketball IQ is high. He's thinking through. That's why people can know, like LeBron does not want to do this ball because he does not want to take that shot. He does not want to go to the line. You can see that from a basketball perspective. That, okay, he's thinking through, but one element of his thing is that he don't want to be in that particular spot. Now, the Golden State Warriors have a team. They've assembled a team that if they go and play basketball, they come out and play defense the way they're supposed to, they'll make Kyle Lowry have a Kyle Lowry moment and more of them. And to me, it's just for them, it's the determination to play defense for 48 solid minutes in spite of injuries, because it doesn't show on offense. That my injuries don't necessarily show on offense. They show on my defense. They show on defense. That on defense is where I'm going to slack off. On defense is where I'm going to take a break. On defense is where I'm not going to push myself as hard. On defense is where I'm going to be in reserve. But if they go out and play like they're supposed to tomorrow night, I think this is definitely come back to California for Game 7, and we'll see what's up then.
Of course. I called it a playground series from the start. But see, let me finish this thought, though. I'm with you on that, bro, Rich. But let me ask you this question. When Steph Curry, out of his own mouth, after the fact, said in that situation he had with Kevin Love in 2016, did he say I should have had a better field goal percentage? Did he say I should have shot more from the free throw line? Did he say I should have shot more from the three-point line? Or did he say I should have drove to the basket? See, let me ask you this, too. In the pecking order, which weighs more, or should I say which comes first? The decisions that you make in certain situations or your field goal or free throw percentage? Which weighs more? And I'm not saying that the other doesn't weigh at all. I said which weighs more in determining the outcome of a game.
Well, that would depend. That would depend, Jay, because what if I have a terrible free throw percentage? And in that moment, because I know I have a terrible free throw percentage, I make the right move, I make the right pass, and and I'm Jordan in this case, and Double J is what's the brother that Jordan passed it to and he shot the jump everybody talks about to beat y'all, the Cavs, to beat the Cavs.
Who?
I'm Steve Kerr, or
okay,
I'm,
right.
I'm
yeah,
one of
right,
those guys.
Right,
It
yeah.
was sitting off in the corner. So
Right.
at that moment, my decision making was it proved to be. That's why people argue about did LeBron. Okay, LeBron doesn't want it, but does he make the right decision? We question whether or not he makes the right decision in that thing because it's like, okay, we want you to have the ball. We'd rather you have the ball. So conversation is whether or not this one should take the shot or that one should take the shot. But in that moment in the game, and part of it is I got suspended off Twitter for saying that Jamel Hill, I don't know who made her a voice of basketball, that she doesn't know the rest of it. You know what I said, right? But
okay.
they kicked me off Twitter because I don't understand when some of these people who get paid money to get on these platforms and say just silly things, and they're getting money for that. And so, wait a minute, she never played basketball at that level. She don't know nothing about that. And it's not because she's a woman or this. The fact is, if I have never been in that situation, if I've never been in those circumstances, when you talked just now at the beginning of our show about the documentary of San Quentin, that's serious stuff. You got to know what's happening in places like that to understand why that's valuable. If you don't know what it is to play at that level, and I'm not talking about that level in the NBA, I'm talking about that level
Yeah, I got
where
you.
you care.
Got you. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that all day. I lost you again. You seem to went out.
Oh yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
I was I had to mute the phone to let this ambulance pass. But
Got you,
I'm
okay.
saying at the level of people who care, when you're talking about the basketball that these young men are engaged in at that level, her take was that it was a good thing that Kevin Durant played, and that's good, and it shows heart, and it shows this. And see, that's silly. That's okay. So you don't care about the fact that all the quote-unquote analytics told you that if this young man goes out there on that, they obviously had the real medical reports, why they were lying to us and telling us, no, it's a calf strain, no, it's a this, no, it's a that. They all knew that his his Achilles was about to go. So you let him go out there, and in the name of quote-unquote team, but again, I'm going to close it with this thing. I'm of the mindset that this is going to backfire on all the Golden State Warriors haters and all the people, those Toronto fans that cheered when he went down, that Golden State is going to come out and show that heart of a champion and lock these boys down in game six and bring it back to Oracle.
Yeah, that was classless. But I would say this too, though. I wouldn't blame all of the Toronto fans. And I'm not saying you are, because I was seeing on my Facebook thread a couple of people were. You don't blame all of the Toronto fans for however many thought it was, however many was cheering for that guy. You know what I mean? You got to know. That's why I say you have to separate your fandom from fiction, so to speak. Or from reality. Your fandom, don't let that become your reality. The reality is you don't want to see nobody get hurt because that's that man's livelihood. He's his own franchise. And then, two, I'm glad you bringing that up, Brother Rich, because I'm with you on that. Me personally, and Double J, I'm going to let you get in here on a minute. You didn't fall asleep on us, did you? Because I know you got some bunny slippers and a smoker's jacket that you're just waiting to try out over there. But, I'm cool with Kawhi Leonard and what he did when it comes to San Antonio. See, from the outside looking in, he's the villain because of Greg Popovich and the Spurs and their organization and their upstanding and so on and so forth. We give them the credit that they are, the Spurs as an organization when it comes to basketball and whatnot. But that don't mean because they are what they are today that they're impervious or whatever it is to being dead wrong. Okay? Because there's been more than a few players, that are not compensated endorsers who have said something to the contrary. So we're supposed to ignore what they've said, and I'm not going to mention no names here, but Kawhi Leonard went and got a second opinion. But here it is. I'd like to, for all the folks out there, and before I go any further with that, let me throw that number out there again. Area code 267-687-0026. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to weigh in and give us a shout, again, area code is 267-687-0026. Kawhi Leonard and going to get a second opinion. Now, there's a book that former Giants tight end Mark Bavaro wrote, sort of kind of like in the third person. See, and this is why I side with the athletes when it comes to that thing, them and the establishment, so to speak. Bavaro wrote a book, man, and I don't have the name of it, but I do have the book. And he talks about how he said in one particular case, he walked into the trainer's room to get something he was getting done to his ankle or whatnot. And it was a particular player, Lawrence Taylor is the guy, I believe, because he didn't say any names. He used different names. You get what I'm saying? And they were trying to get him out back, get ready to play for this big game against the 49ers. We all know how the Giants 49ers was back in the 80s, right? That was a big deal, them NFC championships. Them suckers my gosh, Ronnie Lott cut his finger off. You know what I mean? That type of deal. But anyway, and how the GM, the head coach, and the team doctor was all huddled up. Like, yeah. And this is separate from the player saying, I want to get back out there. You get what I'm trying to tell you? If the player is saying, I can't go, then you don't question no player's injury. But the team doctors and them was like, yeah, we can shoot him up. They don't care nothing about you, man. You a commodity to them. That's why I don't like all this talk about loyalty and all that old kind of stuff. And then I'll give you another example right quick. When you go for a house, let's say you're getting ready to go buy a house. Wherever jurisdiction you're in, or country, county, whatever the case may be, that city has its own home inspectors, right? That work for the city. You know what was suggested to me by my insurance company when I went for my first house? They said, go get your own home inspector. Now, why would they say that to me? Because them dudes that work for the city as home inspectors is in cahoots with the folks that's trying to sell the thing. Them doctors team doctors, not all, but a lot of them, they in cahoots with the team, man. So we mad at Kawhi Leonard for going to get a second opinion? And kudos to Isaiah Thomas years ago who played on that ankle. That was on him. But from my understanding, I don't know how true it is. We got a caller on the line here. Hold up, give me 1 second. Let me bring them in. Hello? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, wow. Really? My button's not working now? Oh, okay. Here we go. Hello. Yep. Who are you? Your caller? Yeah. Here we go. We got him. Yeah. State your name. Tell us where you're calling from.
Yeah, it's Jerron Wilkinson, man. I'm calling from out here in Westland.
Westland, is that California, New York, or?
No, Westland, Michigan. I'm right here.
Oh, Westland,
right
Michigan. Okay. All right. Up north. Okay. You know Double J?
Yeah, that's my dog. Man.
Okay.
That's my dog,
okay. Yeah, give us the goods on that guy, man.
Yeah, I've been knowing Joey for a little minute now, man. For a few years, dog. He told me about the radio show, and I'm like, dog, all I do is talk sports. And he finally gave me the number, like, why don't you just call in? I'm like, well, shit. Shoot.
That's all good.
Sure, I'll
yeah,
call in.
That's all good. Oh, so he finally gave you the number, huh? Got you. All right, Double J, we got to have a talk, right?
Yeah. He sent it to me a long time ago with me being me. I didn't save it, and then he sent it to me again today, like, dog, we going live. Go ahead and call in whenever you're ready. So I'm like, well, shoot, let me go ahead and call in real quick.
It's all good.
We're talking basketball and KD.
Yeah, we're talking the whole KD and the injury and what it is, and players versus management, ownership, that type of deal. And how the entities, if you would, see players as commodities. Go ahead, have your say, man. We love to hear what you got to say.
Well, one thing I like is that the GM from the Golden State Warriors just pretty much put out there, like, if y'all going to blame somebody, because he knew they was going to blame somebody. He's like, if y'all going to blame somebody, I'm going to protect the rest of my people. Go ahead and blame me.
Okay, that's
what
fair.
I like, number
okay.
one. Number two, I feel like KD did come back early, but if you love the game of basketball the way KD does and you see your team down 3-1, he did what any other superstar would do. So I can't blame KD for coming back early. You seen him in the pregame warm-ups. He's dunking. He's doing crossovers. He's doing layups. He looked good, man. He looked good. So for a minute, everybody was like, well, maybe this dude is ready.
Got you.
And here comes the second quarter, and that Achilles injuries happen. Now everybody's he's stupid for coming back early. But no, don't be so, I'm glad he came back 1 minute. Now, he's stupid, and everybody done for clearing him. Like, no, don't jump teams like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Don't jump teams like that.
And that's fair. But I will say this, too. Well, see, and to Brother Richard's point earlier, having experienced it, I've had a non-contact injury. And they just don't heal in 6 minutes. You get what I'm saying, man?
No, they don't. Some things take time.
Yeah. And let me ask you, when you saw what happened to Kevin Durant the first time this Achilles thing, did you think that it was something, even though he was coming back and it was announced he was coming back, did you really in your heart of hearts, did you be like, man, I don't know? Or was you like, oh, okay, let's see what happened?
I mean, I knew he wasn't ready. I knew he wasn't ready. They're talking about he set out for 5 games. They're talking about it was just a calf injury. In the back of my head, I always thought it was more than just a calf injury, but for the media's sake, so they don't want everybody to flip out, they're going to say, oh, just a mild calf injury. What kind of calf strain, going to keep somebody out for 5 games?
Yeah, and there you go. That's all I want, man. If the World Cup,
that's the first issue right there. Like, if it's just a calf strain, how many superstars, sitting out for 4 or 5 games off just the calf strain?
Yeah. Again, if the
that's where Golden State is at fault.
Yeah, if the world comprehended on the same level, all sense would be common. Hey, that's what I said too.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, there's no way in the world he out that kind of time, and it's only a little nick. You get what I'm saying, or a little banged up a little bit.
A strain.
Yeah.
A strain. I've strained my freaking hamstring before and been back, and ready to go after a couple weeks.
Yeah. And matter of fact, Klay Thompson, he did a full-on Olympic style type split. And he sat out one game and he's been good to go ever since. So it's a difference between load management, banged up a little bit, with Kevin D. You know what I mean? So
well, Jay, I just want to respond and weigh in to call over real quick on that. See, I think that's the issue there with not in general, but with specific focused on this. If other people were able to look from a distance and say that guy is not ready, then are you all trying to tell me that the Golden State Warriors and the staff that they had could not understand that young man was not? If Jay knows he's not ready, you're telling me you knew he wasn't ready. I anticipated. I didn't know what was wrong with him, so I'm saying, okay, if Kevin Durant comes and plays in this series, it's a wrap. But I'm looking for Kevin Durant, not a hobbled Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Now, if the Golden State Warriors, after reading his MRI, know that this young man has, because they can tell you when your Achilles, your tendon is
right,
probably going to pop. And sometimes they tell you, look, you're going to have surgery. Maybe that already told them that you're going to have surgery in the offseason anyway because you got issues here.
Right.
So maybe it was something like that. But so you're going to run him out there anyway to prove what point? What point was proved?
Yeah.
What point was proved?
We got another
that
call.
He got heart, that he's a basketball player, that he down, that he loved the team. He already showed that he's in the NBA. He already proved he got heart. He already proved he down with the team.
We got another caller. We got another caller. We got to get this. We got to get the other caller. And Jerron, I had to put you on mute button. I hope you can still hear us, man. We got another caller on the line. Tell us who you are and where you calling from. Hello?
I'm calling from Detroit. It's Kurt.
Okay, how you doing, Kurt? Oh, you calling from Detroit, man? It's Michigan in the house, man. You know what I'm saying? The Wolverines. What's happening, man? Give us your thoughts on this right quick, man.
What's up?
All right.
Up? So with the Kevin Durant thing, I'm just saying, like, regardless of who cleared him or not, I'm looking at it like he wanted to prove a point because I feel like he ain't going to be at Golden State next year. So he wanted to prove a point that he ain't ride a wave and get a ring sitting on the bench, so he came out there anyway. He got fucked up.
Hey, all right. Ooh, we got to edit. It's all good. But I'm with you on that. And see what
you know what I mean? Like he knew he was injured. He shouldn't have came out there, but he want to prove to everybody that he deserved the rings that he got while he was at Golden State because he's not coming back next year. Just like Kawhi ain't coming back to Toronto. That's why he ain't really frolicking or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being too Toronto-ish with all the fans. They ain't coming back. This is a money game now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's
after
true.
After the series, watch how everybody disperse.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And two, when you talk about the player wanting to, I think that's important here as well because we've seen that happen in football where guy get dinged up, but because of the concussion protocol thing, you know, they say, man, that guy pacing the sidelines, we're going to have to take his helmet from him. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to save the player from himself. I get all of that. But in this instance, too, it could go one way or it could go the other way because we saw what Isaiah Thomas had dealt with. You know, Isaiah wouldn't play it on that ankle. But then we also saw, hey, background. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the background. We saw what happened to Grant Hill. Grant Hill was basically, even though he ended up playing again after the fact, but, you know, Grant Hill was he was kind of done after that. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of done after that. I mean, you know, still, he did play, but he was never the same. Jerron, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I've got my man from Detroit. He he got out of here a little too quick on me. But we appreciate all the calls, man, all the involvement here. This is a good deal. This is a good, I'm glad we're discussing this thing. But before anybody says anything else, we got to get Double J to weigh in on it because I know he didn't fell asleep now. Or he's either watching Spider-Man, I don't know, or Iron Man 3. The number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, area code 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. We are here with Brother Rich and Double J discussing the Kevin Durant situation and the whole thing surrounding it. Double J, have your say. You've been waiting so patiently.
Well, I think everybody brought up valid points. However, what I think we're all forgetting right now is that the Brother Rich's point that he had nothing to prove, and to Jerron's point about how people flip-flop and how the fanfare will come and go, is that Kevin Durant is the same individual that created a burner account, meaning he cares about his image and his identity in the eyes of other people. And so you have to factor that in addition to the nonsense that was being, the lies from the team that were being told to him. And keep in mind, too, that there were reports that teammates felt he was ready to go, and not necessarily milking the injury. I'm paraphrasing that, but
yeah.
And then the team itself also shared that. So if you're hearing it from the fans, you're hearing it from your teammates, you're hearing it from the coaching staff, at some point it starts to linger. And he was really willing to take this risk. And, it is unfortunate, of course, what happened. But again, I think to your point, Jay, that it validated everything that Kawhi Leonard did last season.
I agree. Jerron, you got any last words, man? We got to let you go right here, Craig. Any last words you want to weigh in? We appreciate you again for calling, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think KD was necessarily milking it. Yes, we know he probably won't be there next year. Yes, we know he probably, won't have these same teammates. But I feel like he was in such a big rush to come back because he really just wanted to save his team. You know what I mean? He wanted to, like my man from Detroit said, he's trying to prove that somebody needs him. He's not just there to along for the easy ride. Like, no, Golden State needs him to get this ring. And I feel like if they do come back from 3-1 without him, then his whole legacy is done for. It's done with. It's done with. He's no longer going to be on the same caliber as the greatest basketball player ever. He's none of that anymore. Because, one, you couldn't do it by yourself. Two, you went to – I understand you like the way they play it. You like how they the pass first, shoot later. I understand you like that play flow, but they didn't need you. And you can't say, hey, I'm the greatest basketball player of all time if they're still winning with or without you. Good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to kind of
You must be a LeBron fan. My friend, you must be a LeBron fan.
I'm actually a Kobe fan.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, at least you're a
my
Kobe
man,
fan. At least
my
you know basketball.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, enough.
Kobe fan. I always favorite be a Kobe fan.
Yeah, I'm a Kobe fan, too. Man, we appreciate you calling, man. We got to let you go, man. Thanks, man. Just keep checking us out, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as you know Double J. And you can let us know next time if you call in, man, whether he wear bunny slippers or he wear gold toe encrusted elf shoes on the front. All right, man. We appreciate you. It's all good.
All right, thanks, man. I'll let y'all.
Yeah. And Brother Rich, what's all of this? What's all of this? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're a Kobe fan. So Barbershop Jay don't know basketball because even though I'm a Kobe fan, I still don't know basketball.
No. You know basketball. That young man sounded like a LeBron fan for a whole host of different reasons. I know you're a Kobe fan. This was from the point of view, and only from the point of view of I'm yet still taking issue, and I'm gonna lift something that Double J showed us just now.
Oh,
I'm gonna
my
lift his
gosh.
argument and defend Kevin Durant with that by saying this. Double J said, this is Kevin Durant, a man who had burner accounts. I believe that Kevin Durant was pressured into playing last night. He knew he wasn't ready, but because of conversations like that he knows is going on. Listen to this, our brother said just now. Well, if you don't win it, if they win it without you, you can't be in the conversation of greatest player. Nah, I think that these are the kinds of things that create dynamics where you're wondering, what do people look at when they see Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant has been standing on his own as a basketball player, certainly for the last several seasons. Yes, he joined the super team. Yes, all of it. But nevertheless, to take it away from him like he did, they don't need him, and he's not going to be mentioned. I think this is what caused him to try to play last night, probably knowing his doctor, against his personal doctor's advice, and the team forcing him and making him feel guilty in not playing.
Well, now listen, my contention with the guy ain't got nothing to do with them fans and their microwave mentality. You already know that. You see what I'm saying? But not having played in the NBA, but playing against guys who played there and knowing people who played there, I would say this: all the guys. I wish more guys would be comfortable in their own skin, no matter who's saying what. Because at the end of the day, we keep talking about NFL players, man. Everybody love you till you ain't playing no more, and then you look at guys like Earl Campbell and Jerome Bettis. You see what I'm saying? It's not selfish; it's self-help. I'm helping myself. Because at the end of the day, I got to live with me. Man, I'm telling you, if you watch the documentary on the former NFL running backs who can't even walk up the stairs no more, where them fans at now? See what I'm saying? And I'm not saying disregard the fans, because the fans got a lot to do with why we come to see you play, and I get all of that. But hey, where you at when I can't even feed myself right? Man, do you know what Earl Campbell went through? I mean, I know we're talking basketball, but still, it's all relative as far as I'm concerned. We're talking about after the fact. Man, you got to do, man. Hey, you got to do now. You got to think about tomorrow, today and tomorrow. Them fans, man, they forgot about you, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of them type of fans. But I appreciate my man Kurt and Jerron for calling in, for weighing in, because I can tell that they have a strong affinity for the game, for hoop. You know what I mean? Outside of, the bells and whistles and all of the, the cannons and stuff that go off, before the game, during the game, after the game, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, I'm with Kevin Durant on that. I wouldn't have played. And I'm not going to say I wouldn't care what nobody thought, so to speak. But, I mean, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm rolling with him first. What he's saying. Look, man, because I'm telling you right now. But see, then there's a lot of folks, they ain't never broke nothing. They ain't never ruptured nothing. They ain't never tore nothing. So it's easy to sit up there on the pedestal or sit up there at your soapbox and be like, yeah, and point your finger looking down. Yeah, that guy. Man, mother had you, I ain't going to even say nothing else. But, I'm you and Double J bring up strong points in the whole nine, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. But, I get it. It's a reason why, Kevin Durant is on the team, was enjoying the team and all that kind of stuff or whatnot. But, I mean, I just don't get this whole narrative that, without him, the Golden State Warriors is the version of who's the team that the Tropics, huh? What you seen that movie? What was the movie with Will? What's his name? Help me out, Double J. Who?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Yeah, that's what the narrative sounds like to me. Without Kevin Durant, the Warriors are what were they called? The Florida Tropics or something like that. And I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. Jackie Moon, come on, man. Only 2 people at the game. Stop it. They made that. I mean, to me, and I'm not a fan of the Ford truck or the Chevy. I do like Chevy. But it's like saying, you got this Chevy truck, you know what I mean, without that blower on it. It's no, it's still built to last. You know what I mean? Okay, so it can't do 200 in a quarter mile. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But guess what, though? It can carry a heavy load. I just don't see the Warriors as all of a sudden they up here, and without Kevin Durant, they ain't even on the map no more. No, I'm not buying that. I'm not doing it. Because I'm looking at these games, and I'm saying to myself, okay, no matter the names or the players, why he do that in that situation? Whoever his name is, whoever there, whoever ain't there, you roll with whatever, you roll out whoever there, and you play with what you got. They are still formidable, huh? Because when you hear the announcers talk, and I don't listen to them all the time, but every now and again I listen to them talk, and I hear them say things like, whoever wins the 50-50 balls, they don't say if Kevin Durant wins the 50-50 ball, or if Steph Curry wins the 50-50 ball, or if Kawhi Leonard wins the 50-50 ball, then whatever teams they playing for respectively got their best chance to win. They say whoever wins the 50, it's the guy who diving on the floor, right? The guy who keeping the possessions alive, right? Because how integral. We know what Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen was for the Celtics. But believe me, and this ain't no offense to the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't the Lakers' fault. Perkins went down. But when Kendrick Perkins went down in that finals, go look at what Vegas was doing. Because you know how they do that whole now the odds went from this to that. Go look what the Vegas was doing. See, I don't place my stock in all that. I'm not a gambler. I mean, I don't knock nobody that is. That's what you do. That's what you do. Hey, have at it. You know what I mean? But I use the eye test. You know what I mean? And again, at the end of the day, I know I'm regurgitating. I'm saying it ad nauseum. I know y'all getting tired of it. My bad. My fault. I can't help it. Stats don't equal substance. They just don't equal substance to me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, with Kevin Durant at healthy, it would have been, you're right. It would have been a clash of the Titans, so to speak. See what I'm saying? It would have been a clash of the Titans. But, I wish Gully had chimed in here. I don't know where he's at right now, but he should have been here 27 minutes ago. That's why I call him the man, the myth, the legend, because, he'd show up when he wanted to show up. But, he did that shot chart thing. And I'm okay, that's fair. I give it, that's fair. I give you that's fair, the shot chart thing. But again, did you see Siakam's shot chart yesterday for the game 5 yesterday? Anybody? He ain't take no shots from nowhere. Yeah, he ain't take not one shot from inside the line, not one. See? So again, for me, it's going to always, I just place more stock, not all the stock. I just place more stock in how you go about doing what it is you're doing. Because, Brother Richard, you said a little while ago, you're right, the decision making. If I know I ain't good at 3, I ain't got no business taking a 3. Okay, got you. But guess what? Based on the film study, which I think is still so critical, I don't understand how you go away from doing what it is that you was doing that got you the lead. I don't get that. See, because when that happens, we always talk about these comebacks. Like I said before, they was one-sided and whatnot. Nobody talks about the other team, what they wasn't doing in order for the comeback to happen, but that's fine. When that happens, I'm asking myself, what the guy, when you're doing film study, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? You say in this situation, hey, man, you know what? The next time, because it's going to show itself again. We playing the same team, 7, 4, whatever, however many times. You know what? When that happens, man, I want you to start out to the corner and then come back down and then work your way back up and out or something. I don't know. More so than who you are is how you do it. I'm not discrediting stars. I'm not. Stars are important. You're right, Brother Rich. Not everybody can shoot a 3-point shot from 80 feet. I get it. But you ain't got to always shoot from 80 feet to win the game. And I'm trying to figure out the last time when it mattered, what's your name? B. Double J? Is there anything you want to add to that? Because, you and Brother Rich, when we not on the air, y'all give me the business. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm sitting in a chair, I'm tied to the chair, and Brother Rich slap me, and then you spin me around, and you know what I'm saying? I need a 20. Can I get a 20? Can I get a timeout? You know what I'm saying? What's this, huh? Come on, man. But, I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep me on my toes, man. You know what I mean? That's why I stopped reading all them little, I don't know what you call them, little magazines that be at the counter when you go to the store. Inquire. I stopped reading all of that. I said, man, Brother Rich and Double J, I gotta really start reading my, Dr. Seuss. Green eggs and ham.
Rich, we got the National Enquirer out of his hands now, so he got the tinfoil off his head.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. Yeah, green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. Brother Rich, I know you over there chomping at the bit to say something, man. What you got to say?
Well, I'm
okay.
hearing you, and I'm listening to you and receiving everything that you're saying. I'm gonna say it like this: Golden State in 7.
Oh my goodness! And I want to ask you all too, right quick. And again, it's not because it's a group I'm in called Global Sports Elite. I forget the name of it, and it's a lot group, and it's big like another group I'm in called Facebook Sports Debate. And I love the Ultimate Michigan Sports Lounge too. Hey, Double J, do you know Carrie L. Smith?
I do.
Yeah. Tell him I said what's up. That guy always give me the business, man. But anyway, there was a thread in this group I'm in.
You're the Kawhi apologist with the LeBron apologist.
I'm not a Kawhi apologist.
Clash of the Titans there.
I'm not a Kawhi apologist. Kawhi's my favorite player, But if he doing something he ain't got no business to kick, my goodness. In that last possession with 15 points, something, I'm not giving the ball to nobody. That's got to be a Philadelphia reenactment part 2. I'm not going to, no, I don't do that. Oh, no, I don't do that.
Now, let's walk through that possession. You talked about, let's use what you brought to the table here.
Oh, boy. So you really were paying attention to me? You finally you want to pay attention to me? Okay.
You specifically mentioned shot selection.
Mm-hmm.
That final possession, he was double teamed. So if he throws
not initially.
Prayer,
no, he was not. No, he wasn't. Not initially. When he got the ball at the top of the key, Kawhi Leonard did. He reached the ball back with his right hand, held the ball in one hand. He was one-on-one at the top of the key in that sequence. When the clock started.
But then somebody slid over, and that's why he swung the ball in the manner that they did.
Okay, when you give it to Van Vliet, go get it back. But here's the killer part. Here's what I would say. If I'm Kawhi Leonard in that situation, I'm not going to stand there long enough because we see a lot of players do this. How often do you see a player stand and let so much time run? And I get the idea, but you don't allow a double team to get to you, to box you in. You don't do that. You don't do that. Just like we saw with Portland and Golden State when C.J. McCollum towards the end reached around and slapped the ball and rolled off of Clay's fingertips or whatever it is. Man, you're not going to box me into the boundaries. That's what made defenses back in my day so special, because you had guys who were not athletically gifted, but were playing defense, were sound in their defensive principles because they used the things, they used the stuff that was there for them to help them play defense. I'm not letting you box me in. We were always taught, if you're on offense, you work the ball to the open side, always wherever the open side of the floor is. You know, and Kawhi in that case he was in the middle of the floor. That's really where you want the ball. I'm taking you. I'm looking at the clock as it's running down. I'm not passing the ball to nobody. And if I have to, if I'm forced to, I'm going to get it back. But again, too many of these offenses, man, they offenses are predicated. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this 1-4. They run that 1-4 set to death on all levels. That's all y'all know? In crunch time especially? The 1-4, call for a ball screen? No. You me tell you what, if I was Kawhi, I'm going to tell you what I would have did? He had the ball in his right hand. Bear with me now. He get the ball in his right hand. Once the defense starts towards me, I'm swinging it to the front because I'm running in my left hand. I showed my son this Michael Jordan video. When Jordan would do his crossover, he would always cross with the opposite. I hope y'all can understand this. I hope I'm explaining this right. If he wanted to go left, he would put his right foot towards the left. So in case a defender that was in front of him, even though the defender was opening up, trying to force him to go to the defender's left, Jordan is going to go to his left. Do that make sense at all? Maybe not. Jordan would put his right foot towards the direction that Jordan, wanted to go, not the way that the defender was pointed for him to go. Because he did that, you know why? So that if the defender reached across, when he showed him the ball, reached across, he would hit his thigh. You're gonna get a foul in that instance. And I'm not saying in that case what Kawhi should have done literally, but figuratively, Kawhi brings the ball from his right hand, switch it to his left, start like he going to his left, put the ball between your legs, and then goes directly down. But I understand, I think what he was trying to do was trying to let some, because Golden State's the Warriors shooters are deadly. You know, I mean, we saw Derek Fisher, Brother Rich. How much time was on the clock when Derek Fisher hit that shot? 0.4?
Something like that.
Yeah. So he was trying. He don't want to lead the Warriors no time. I get that, but you got to have a clock in your head, man. It's so much time you can wait there, and once you see the defenders coming at you, you cannot get boxed in right there by two guys. Not at that point, and not at that part of the floor. You can't do it. You can't do it knowing that you got to be the one, and the Warriors knew it too. Kawhi is going to be the guy to take this shot. I get the ball, 15, 14. 13. I'm giving it up. You can't wait to 11 or 10 or 9. Giving it up. Because at 13, instead of waiting till 10, if I give it up at 13, I use that 12, 11, 10, 9 to go somewhere else and get it back. See what I'm saying? timing is everything, man. I'm not saying I don't know it. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you I know everything. I don't know everything. But in that instance, ain't no way in the world Kyle Lowry should have been taking that shot. And even still with that, if you're going to do that, if that's the way it's going to go down, leave Kyle Lowry enough time, maybe 2 seconds, for him to pump fake with that defender running at him so he could step one dribble in and then take the shot from there. No way in the world Draymond Green should have got his fingers on that ball. You ain't supposed to be taking that shot like that, man. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, you know, I remember when Brother Rich was at the Rucker finger rolling like George Gervin. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Brother Rich? You tell him. I mean, come on, man. Come on now. Come on, the finger roll, right, Brother Rich? No? Okay.
That's what they called it.
Okay, I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying. It's the decision makers. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to also point out, these folks shut me down on their group. They stopped me from commenting. And I thought that's what, you know, groups and Facebook and all that stuff was for, to engage conversation, right? That's what I thought. Well, apparently, it's not in the case of them. And I appreciate them giving me an invite, you know, because they sent me an invite. But, I'm trying to get back in so I can tell them to uninvite me. Because if you don't like what I got to say, you know, I don't know what to tell you. But rest assured, this ain't no water cooler conversation coming from me. It ain't. This is serious business for me, man. It really is. I'm trying to eat off of this. See what I'm saying? So if I'm wrong about something, so be it. If you're right about something, so be it. But my retort or response to you and something that you said is going to be something based off, I done research. Okay, so if you say something I don't agree with, I'm going to go find some information to come back at you with it. You get what I'm saying, Brother Rich? Double J, y'all get what I'm saying? With this whole idea with Kevin Durant.
Of course, you're our Cleveland A. Smith.
Oh, my. Oh, that's so disrespectful. Are you kidding? Double J, you almost got the bail, man. You almost got the bail. Boy, you was this close to getting the bail. Oh, y'all don't Brother Rich, what you say? Facts. You know what I'm saying, Brother Rich? You can't be on Double J's side. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why I hope UEFA lose. I don't know if that's, you know, who y'all rooting for. Whatever soccer team y'all rooting for, hope they lose. Cristiano Ronaldo. Anyway, yeah. So it was a couple of young ladies on there. You know, they were talking about Kevin Durant's mom and her coming out saying what she said on his behalf. Let me be clear. I'm not disrespecting nobody's mamas on here. That's not what we do. You see what I'm saying? I got home training. You understand what I'm saying? But I also am saying, being as a black man, as a man, period, in this country, too often every day I walk out the door, I see cats who really, at the end of the day, you can tell that they've been coddled. Get what I'm saying? At some point in your life, your mama can't be doing all the talking for you. That's all I said. Oh, my gosh, they had a fit. They called me all kind of names in that group. See what I'm saying? But it's cool. But tell me I'm lying. Huh? Just like in the courtrooms when they say, or they made it, when they allowed for kids to call the police on their parents. You know that number. What's the number? 696 kids? And then when them same kids show up in the courtroom, they're like, where's your parents at? You can't ask that question when you just pass along. You can't do that. You can't take parenting out of my hands and then talk about where the parents at. You feel what y'all get where I'm going with this? Okay. So again, no disrespect to Kevin Durant's mama. I'm not saying that. But I want Brother Rich or Double J or Kurt or Jerome. I want somebody to tell me that I'm lying when I say these dudes nowadays, man, they're a little mentally fragile. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. So we say all of that to say what? Warriors in 7? I don't know. It's anybody's game. Because Gully asked me the other day, he said, man, so based on the events that happened last night, who you think going to win? I can't tell you. Because I see still out of both teams, despite all the stardom, I see bad possessions. I see too many bad possessions. Sorry for being a stickler. Womp womp. Sorry. Y'all know if y'all.
But would you say bad possession or is it great defense?
The defense has been evident. It's been on display. But I'll say it like this: I've seen too many bad possessions throughout, but in critical and more so in critical moments, I've seen too many bad possessions than I have good defense. Is that fair? No, you're not buying that either,
Yeah.
Double J?
Mhm.
Huh?
Yeah, no, I'm in.
I can agree with that. I think that's one of Golden State's problems. They're very careless with the basketball.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I just see too many. Right, I see too many bad possessions. And again, This is not no comparison to from this era to my era. I get it. We done moved on from 8 tracks. You know what I'm saying? Now we flash drives. I get it. All right, hey, but I mean, it's the foundation, the thing which is built on or built upon, right? So I'm asking myself, man, when I go back and look at that 94-95 Pacers series, I'm not asking any of these current series to be those guys, but at least them guys in that 94-95 Knicks Pacers, my goodness, every possession mattered. Huh? Can we at least get that? Every possession matters? Because that's a bad deal, really. I get it. But that's bad. That's not good, man. You can't have that now, Brother Rich. So you say Golden State in 7. Double J, you say what?
Yes.
What you say,
Golden
Double J?
State in 7.
Golden State in 7. I'm picking Will Ferrell's Tropics in 9. That's what I'm picking. Because that's what this need to go. It need to go 9, man, really. You know what I mean? And I don't want to hear all about their ratings is up and down. You know what I mean? People can say whatever it is. I like to find the guy who, because I told y'all about gatekeepers before. Didn't I tell you about a gatekeeper? You know what a gatekeeper is when it comes to media and newsrooms and things of that nature? And propaganda and all that kind of stuff. Do we need to get off in all of that? Gatekeeper. A gatekeeper is the person who, and it's more than one nowadays because newsrooms have gotten bigger. They sit in this room. And this room has you've never seen so many TVs in your life because they get news feeds coming in from all over the world. And the producers at these stations say, okay, we need to keep our viewers dumb. So in order to keep the dumb down going, we're going to show them this. We're going to show them that. We're going to show them this. We're going to show them that. And then we'll keep the good stuff, the good story, the feel-good story. Put that at the end. See where I'm going with that? Okay. And I mean, this is just from journalism, fellas. I'm sorry. You know, I was taught from day one. You don't substitute real reality with television reality. What did Arnold Rothstein say? Yeah, we can fix anything but the weather. I said it's going to be a playground series, baby. And is it not starting to look like it's going to be a playground series? Now, could the Raptors go out and beat Golden State? Could they win at Oracle? Yeah, they. From what I'm hearing, Kawhi was like, Nick Nurse said, let's go get one. Kawhi was like, what? Let's go get 2. Oh, okay, well, you big and bad, dog. I'll do your thing. So, yeah, they could. But I don't think they're going to close it out. I don't think so. Overall, man, the NBA playoffs this year and the year before and the year before and the year before, they've had their moments. But they don't last as long as the moments that we grew up watching, Brother Rich. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me right now. Call me a liar. Right here on national TV audio. Call me a liar.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm able to do that. I totally agree. They're not like what we saw.
Because you give me the business.
Nowadays are not like.
These people don't know. This Brother Richard y'all hearing on these airwaves right now as we live broadcasting, oh, this is a mild-mannered guy, I'm telling you. When we be off the phone, man, I had to go get me some Bounty Quicker Picker up. I had to get some paper towels, man. Crocodiles be playing. Brother Richard don't be, man. Y'all just don't know. This dude do not play, man. That's why I got him on the show, man. You know what I'm saying? He be bringing fire. And then Double J, you know what I'm saying? He cut right. He just cut. Oh, dude, you're bleeding? Sorry. I mean, really? Yeah. So can I ask you all, Double J, I'll start with you. Who's your MVP and all that good stuff? You know, the stuff that everybody care about more than everything else. But who's your MVP? And who's not your MVP and all that good stuff? Who goes for 40 or 50?
Well, it's going to be Steph Curry.
Oh,
in
boy.
Game 6.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Don't you, Double J, you pick him for every game. My goodness, that's too easy. But go ahead. I'll let you have this one. My gosh.
Well, you asked who was going to put up 40, and of course it would be him.
Clay can do it.
Given the circumstance.
Clay can do it.
Well, of course he can. And Clay closed out that game yesterday. They were, the Splash Brothers went 3 for 3 in those final 2 minutes. You want to talk about clutch? It doesn't get any better than that.
Okay.
You know, if the Warriors were a cat, they're on their next life after that.
All right. So, Brother Rich, are you in agreement with Double J? You think it's Steph going for 40?
Not only do I think he's going for 40, I think if he doesn't go for 40, the legacy that's really in jeopardy is his own.
Now would you care to elaborate on that?
To go for 40.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
To do that.
Oh, and before
I
you
think that his legacy is more in jeopardy, more in trouble than Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Before
the story is written. Yes, sir.
Yeah, before you elaborate on that, let me throw this number out here again. If you up and around, out and about, and you want to give us a shout, this is the last hour or half hour or segment of the show. The area code is 267-687-0026. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. And I want to give a shout out to my man Jerron. Did I say that right, Double J? And my man Kirk up from North who weighed in. Good points too, by the way. If you're out there, just give us a call. We are here for a few more minutes. Brother Rich, go ahead. Have you say?
I can talk now?
Yep. Do your thing.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I'm going to say this.
You were talking about legacy.
I believe that Steph's legacy, yes, I believe Steph's legacy is in trouble if he does not find a way to pull, at least make this, certainly win Game 6. But were they to lose, I think that the legacy that's more in trouble is Steph than KD, simply because KD, having been injured, we all can see he's injured. It's quite clear now. The matter of fact, he might get some points because he at least was willing to battle through, such a major injury and at least try to help his teammate. On the other hand, what's going to be Steph Curry's excuse? And when as you talked about breaking down footage and looking at film, I saw some periods in these games recently where I felt Steph Curry didn't want it. I'll be real. I did not think he wanted it. I didn't think he wanted it. Klay Thompson wanted it, but I didn't feel Steph Curry wanted it. I never got that sense that he's ready for this. And if you talk about, I see Steph Curry, to be honest with you, as somebody who is that person, the epitome of the character you talked about when you talked just now about Big Brother, and the way you alluded to describing Kevin Durant. That's how I see Steph Curry. He's all good when it's all going right, and he got his boys with him, and they backing him up, and we rocking people. Then I can shimmy, and I can shangle, and I can do this, and I can do that. But now, when it gets hot up in here, when the collars are kind of tight, I don't know that he does it like that. And so, to me, honestly, Steph Curry's legacy is more in jeopardy than anything dealing with Kevin Durant. Anything.
That's fair. I'm not gonna argue that. Double J, you got the last word. I got some things I got to do here right quick. Man, the time flies when we get together, right? You all enjoyed this? Did you all enjoy this one today?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just glad. I'm glad I can make, so I aim to please. I do. But you got the last word before we get out of here, Double J. What's your last thoughts?
I'm going to completely agree with Brother Rich's point here that, Steph has at times looked fatigued. Whether it's, if you pay attention to the majority of his shots, when they miss, they are generally off the front of the rim.
Okay, can I stop you right there?
And
Can I stop you right there? Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
You use the word fatigue. See, that's a key point. And don't forget your thought, the rest of your thought. You want me to tell you why he's looked fatigued? Because this is what Kawhi Leonard does to whomever. And I ain't saying it's Kawhi versus Steph, but this is what he do to teams. He forces you. You can't just be all offense like too many of these today BA players are. They get away. And I'm not knocking these dudes, man. All I'm saying, Brother Rich, how many times have you heard me say, cut off a guy's airspace? How many times you have, or make him work for it? How many times have we had this discussion when this is me and you talking?
Fact.
See what I'm saying?
Fact.
And that's not a knock against Curry's greatness, but you mentioned fatigue. You know why? See, it's not enough to just mention that a guy's fatigued. I want to know, why is he fatigued? Because he's being made to work like at no other time before. And don't get a guy doing too much as a guy being made to work. See what I'm saying? Because a lot of times guys be tired because they be doing too doggone much with the ball. The ball touched the floor 35 times before a shot is put up, and then they get their hands on their shorts. Yeah, they tired because you're doing too much. That's different than being tired from the dude on the other side making you work. See, Brother Rich, that's an old basketball adage, regardless of the era. Regardless of the era. Yeah, you can get 40. I get 40. But you're going to have to work on the other end. Your 40 ain't going to look the same. Or you might not get that 40 if I'm making you. You all know. Go ahead and finish your thought, Double J. But you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. Guys just being made to work.
I mean, but again, you talk about possessions, sloppy possessions, and Golden State's. That was something Steve Kerr pointed out the minute he took the job, was about offensively taking care of the basketball. They've fallen back into old habits. But again, that's not by choice. You don't see them playing that way against the Pelicans. You see them playing that way against a team that is full of defensive. Marcus Hall was a former Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
You got Serge Ibaka. He was known as Ibaka for a reason.
Yeah, no.
You got
no
Kawhi
question.
Leonard. They are going to work you.
Yeah.
And again, we've seen it. It's been very evident that it's defense wins championships.
But
so despite everything that we've talked about, we're putting a large portion of legacy and motivation, external motivation from Kevin Durant's current status as to what gets these guys over the top. But I'm telling you, they need a long vacation after this one.
Oh, no question. Yeah, you're being made to work. But let me say this too. I'll finish this out. I'll take us out of here. You mentioned Ibaka being a good defender, Gasol being a good defender. Siakam is a decent defender. But what makes a defense, especially a team defense, is the defender that you have defending the point. See, you can have all those other guys behind you that could be good defenders, but if the guy that puts the pressure on the ball is not a good defender, who doesn't understand how to use the boundaries to help him play defense, then it makes what's behind him susceptible too. You got a guy like Kawhi Leonard in front of that defense. I tell everybody to go take a look at Nolan Richardson's Arkansas Razorbacks in the mid-'90s, and you'll see why they called it 40 minutes of hell. Excuse me, mama. H-E double hockey sticks. Because it was the guy leading it. You've seen the movie 300. The guys behind the guy leading the guy, they couldn't be what they needed to be unless he was being the leader. Maximus. I know that wasn't the same movie, but you get the idea, Russell Crowe. When you put a guy who can play defense and who has Kawhi Leonard studies defense like some guys study biology. That's biologists. Bad analogy, I guess, but you get what I'm saying. Man, me and my son looked this dude up, man. You all do not understand the depths of which this guy studies defense. It is mind-boggling. Brother Rich, you know Kobe, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what Brian Shaw and them said about Kobe and Derek Fisher and all them guys. They said, man, when we were done with practice, we was trying to hurry. We were trying to hurry up and get out the gym. And Kobe was like, man, where y'all going? They was like, dude, we've been in here for 40 hours. Man, get back in here. That's why he can call his show now Detail. Yeah, that's what Kawhi Leonard do. He pays attention to detail for defense. You know why he has to do that? Because in this day and age of no hand checking, you understand what I'm saying? You got to learn how to move your feet and basically how to really position yourself when you can't touch nobody. So that, to me, stands out a little bit more than most, right? I can't touch you, but I still am a top-notch defender, and you put me out point, and I'm the captain. I'm leading. You know how they do in the Army, man. You know they say, you, Bruno, hey, you the point. That means you got to lead us to wherever we going. And I ain't talking about leading the team per se, like in the same fashion everybody else talking about lead. He led the team. No, I'm talking about you got to be the one to start this defense thing. If you put the guy that's not only a good defender out on point in front of the defense, then it's going to make everything behind it click. No matter where you go as off. That's why that whole boxing one thing, I was like, man, I've been waiting for somebody to pull the boxing one out in this day and age of zone defense in the NBA with all these stars today. Man, we don't talk about no basketball, man. Okay. But in the end, and on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and, of course, via email, the Shop Report 365@gmail.com. And if that don't work, Google it. For my guest, Brother Rich from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, and my man Double J up north, and for my callers, Kurt and Jerron from up north as well, and all those who follow us on social media, we say thank you for your support. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time you want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins always welcome. Holla!